Lions TV, happy Sunday everyone, get ready to ruin it. We are sponsored by Regal Elevators and Lifts Consultants Limited, a company owned and operated by a Millwall fan, just like every single one of our sponsors on the black balls behind me. If you're going to do a bit of business, then please keep it in the Millwall family and check out all of our sponsors' website links in the description below. Now this is your post-match analysis, unfortunately, for yesterday's 3-1 mauling, disappointing defeat, arsehole tearing at home to Preston. Call it what you will. It was an absolute whirlwind of half an hour. We got taken to absolute pieces. But in this VT, I'm going to tell you why that possibly isn't a bad thing. Let's start out by taking a look at the 11 that Neil Harris picked to start the match. Just the one change from a team that was successful in midweek away at Derby. Shane Ferguson dropped to the bench and Big T, Tommy Elliott, come back into the starting lineup. Straight away wrong for two reasons. There's no way Fergie should have been dropped after the way he performed at Derby or the way he's been performing lately, full stop. And obviously the change, bringing Tom Elliott in, sent us back to a 4-4-2, which is a formation we can never ever play again. Well, unless we got some money to spend on a forward, and I'll go into that further shortly. On a third note of that, Fergie should not be dropped before Ben Marshall, and I like Marshall. I think he's a great player. I don't think he's been anywhere near it since he's come back. And unfortunately, it pains me to say, because in the past I have dug Fergie out on this channel. There's no way in the world that Marshall should have started over Fergie. I think Fergie proved that when he came on. The thing is with Fergie, so I quite famously wasn't hating on him before on this channel. Shane Ferguson once, we played Peterborough away, who remembers it was 5-1 down a couple of years ago. Fergie had to take a corner over by our fans. He didn't want to come and take it. He had absolutely no bollocks to his game. He was always technically good, didn't have a problem with him technically, but he had no fight in him, nothing, didn't want to know. He has now become a completely different person after being left in the wilderness for the year, and he's turned his game around completely, and he's doing well, and I love him, and he fully deserves a place in our starting lineup. So, it proves that players can change, opinions can change, and, for Fergie, really, if you look at it, I was right in what I was saying, because he's now doing what I expected of him to do as a Millwall player. Before he wasn't doing that, so in turning his game around, what he's inadvertently done, Fergie, you've proved me right. So the formation was changed and we went back to a 4-4-2. Again, for me, not the right decision. I said in the pre-match, should have stuck with a 4-5-1, which at home can become a high-pressing 4-3-3, or even the second half formation yesterday worked well. The 4, then the 2 sitting in front of the back 4, the line of 3 just behind Lee Gregory as a striker. And for those who think we can't play one up front at home, a striker doesn't create and score his own goals. The reason we don't create any chances is we put a 70-yard crossfield ball into a corner flag for Lee Gregory to chase. He's not going to score any goals like that. And what you do there is, by shipping that ball long straight away, you're not allowing the rest of your team to get up the pitch. You get up the pitch as a unit by knocking the ball around, and then once your players are up the pitch as a unit, you can then get balls into the box and try and create chances. But it doesn't happen with us. So when Gregory, all he gets is he gets balls to chase into the corner flag, or he gets 70-yard balls with his back to goal and he's isolated. One up front will work if you play football and try and get up the pitch as a team. And then that one up front can become 4 up front with the 3 in behind him. 4 out, all attack. Players running at pace, going into little pockets, into areas, into the channels. It will work. The 4-4-2 yesterday was shocking for another reason. And the reason is this. We have not got another forward at this football club that is capable of playing at this level, unfortunately. Lee Gregory is the only one who's good enough at Millwall Football Club at this current moment in time to play as a striker. Tom Bradshaw is injured. Steve Morrison is past his best, can't play up front anymore. Aidan O'Brien, not up to the standard of football in the Championship. Fred Onyedinma, not up to this standard as a striker in the Championship, I won't believe. Tom Elliott, nowhere near this standard of football as a striker. So why play 4-4-2? You play 1 up front, you play 3 attacking players behind that who are capable of playing at this level and unlocking doors to create chances. Let's move on to the game. I just don't know what to say. Preston, I was thinking about this now. Were Preston that good or were we that bad? Now, first things first, I'm going to stick up for the manager here. He got it completely fucking wrong yesterday. But make no mistake, should never have played 4-4-2. The players didn't play well yesterday. It was a fuck up from start to finish. I'm not blaming anyone individually, but the manager has to take the brunt of the responsibility. But the fact that we've got beaten so badly, if you think about it, we haven't been beaten like that since Spurs. And I think, weirdly, that is testament to Harris, because although we're shit going forward, although we're not very exciting, we rarely get taken apart like that. We grind out results. If we do lose, we don't lose you know, by that sort of margin, but in that sort of display, we could have been 6-0 down at half-time. Preston comes to town, they were everything that I wish our football club was. And they honestly must be wondering how the fuck we're in the quarterfinals of the Cup, because they absolutely tore us to pieces. As I said, I've not seen us destroyed like that since Spurs in the Cup. They had young, exciting, attacking players. They had pace, they had ideas, they were overlapping, they were interchanging. And it proves it can be done. You know, they haven't got a massive budget. They're just, their mindset and under their managers, they're doing the right things. The first goal, Lee Gregory gives away a completely needless free kick, and it was a free kick. I know their player was pissing everyone off with a mullet, he's rolling around the floor, but unfortunately I was right by that and it was a free kick. They then take the free kick 10 yards further forward than it should be. I'm not one to moan at rest, doesn't really matter, the outcome was going to be the same. Ball into the box, it isn't dealt with, it isn't cleared, and a shot from the edge of the box goes in. Archer doesn't dive, but it's not Archer's not to blame. Gregory shouldn't have given away a free kick. The ball should have been cleared properly. It's a shot through bodies. He doesn't dive. It goes into the corner. Fair enough. It's 1-0, and we have yet another slow start. The second goal, I've watched it back, and I've watched it back, and I've watched it back, and the corner comes into the box. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of clips here, a couple of stills, and sometimes stills can be deceiving. The corner did come across quickly, but in the first instance there, if I show you that clip there, it's almost, I mean, anything, the goalkeeper for me should be taking anything inside the 6-yard box. Okay? Now that is, what's that? I mean, it's literally there. Look, they're literally, it's 2 yards from goal. Now, for me, the goalkeeper should be coming and clearing that all day long. He doesn't. And then in the second phase of that, the ball bounces and there's around 7 or 8 Millwall players in the box. Their guy comes out of nowhere, gets in between Sean Hutchinson and Ben Marshall and heads it in 2-0. Hutchinson doesn't react, he should react, but I think he's expecting Archer to come and claim the ball, which he doesn't, and we're 2-0 down, and then the fucking cherry on the cake, 3-0. If you watch that on the highlights, it's not as condemning as it should be. Jordan Archer, all day long, he hesitates, he doesn't come out, then when he does come out, he does some weird star jump thing, which to be fair to him, we've seen work in the past, but he's just got to come out and fucking have some balls and wipe the fucker out. It was there for him to be won. He should have got it. He didn't get it. But I'm not blaming Jordan Archer in any way, shape or form for this defeat. It wasn't down to one man. It was shocking tactics. It was shocking formation.